All right, what's up, YouTube? Getting ready to do some work. All right, got 3 broken studs on a 2016 Genesis G80 or Hyundai Genesis, or however it's classified with that particular body style. Should be a fairly simple job, but we're gonna find out. But we know for a fact we gotta take those 3 Phillips head screws out. Right there, and right there. And also remove the brake caliper from the back. Got 2 bolts, like I think it's a 15 millimeter. But we're gonna find out in a second, and I'll address it as I go further into it. So just hang out for a minute. So there is no specific order of taking off anything, but what I normally do, I loosen up those 3 Phillips head screws I was telling you about earlier. Loosen those up. This one up under there. Right there. So loosen those up and get them loose enough to where you can get it to move. And then get your 17 millimeter deep wheel put back here. You got one on the top and you got one on the bottom that's got to come off. Once you get those 2 off, you gotta move this caliper. And also too, if you watch the brake video that I did on the G80, this will make sense on how to get this off as far as prying the brakes back. I'm not gonna show that part. I've already done it. But if you want to see how it's done, go to that particular video. Now, back to what I was saying. Back over here, you got a bolt down there, which the socket is on there. So I'm gonna take that one off, and I'm gonna take the top one off. Give me a second, I'll show you everything once it's taken off. So, back at it. Okay, we got the caliper out the way. Brakes are fairly new, so we ain't got to worry about changing those. So now we just got to take the rotor off. Really quick. Like I said, take these screws out, loosen them up while you got the caliper on it, because you can stick something in there to hold everything steady. So take this off. And just a side note, while I'm doing this, I use cardboard when I take all of my braking equipment off. That way it's not laying on the ground picking up gravel or anything. So it just straight comes off like that. Just lay it down like that. So now what we got to do, there are 2 ways you can do this, whichever is easier for you. One, you can put the studs in while it's still on here like this, which you won't really have a lot of room. Or 2, you can just take the hub off and just do it that way. It's 4 bolts back here. The question is, what size are they? Feels like a star head. I can't really see it, but I'm gonna let y'all go back there and see it. Then y'all can tell me. Oh yeah, it's a star head. So what we're gonna do is figure out what size star head it is, and we'll remove it, because I think it'll be slightly easier to take it off and just do it. Be a whole lot easier to do it, come to think of it. So the socket that we're going to use is, what is that? A T55. So you got 4 of these bolts that's got to come out right there, and you got 2 on the bottom that you probably can't see. But we're going to get those knocked out and let's see what it looks like when it's off. So now we got our 4 bolts out. Had the old blue that one up at the bottom. So what you do have to move is the lower control arm to get that last screw out, which is, can't get to it good. Basically right there. This got to come out to get the last screw out. So once you move it out the way, you're good to go. So now this whole hub should come off in one big piece. So what I'm doing now that I got the studs in, I'm tightening them down in place. So I put a bunch of washers and kind of like a castle nut in there I had left over from something. And put a washer back here and tighten that mug all the way down, so it's flush like the rest of them. So now I got 1 more to do, which is right there. And then I'll show y'all when I get done with that. All right, so now I got all the new studs in. Got 5 now instead of 3. So all we're gonna do is put everything back together. In case y'all need to see what it looks like, and I'll put it back together for you. I took the dust shield off so I can get more room. That's right there. All right, just hold tight. All right, so we got everything buckled down. Got the low control arm back in place. So now we're gonna start putting the rotor back on. And once we get that going, I just wanna put this light. Make sure you put it back on. You line it up with the holes on the rotor and the wheel hub. Because if not, you're gonna have a problem. So that's got to be lined up with that. So once you got all that together, everything goes together easy. Yep, can't do it with one hand, but I'll let y'all see what it looks like when it's back on. So we got everything back together. So now I gotta put the 3 screws back in that we took out. And once we do that, we'll be cooking. And then we'll throw that big old caliper back on. And then it's done. And it's just that simple. It ain't that complicated, just a little time consuming. But if you have any questions, just hit me up. Like, share, subscribe. Alright, this is the finished product. This is what it should look like. If it don't, you did it wrong. But seriously, this is everything back together. As you can see, the only thing I got to do now is put the wheel back on. And like always, like, share, and subscribe.